Let's talk about something very, very deep tonight. In fact, about as deep a conversation as we could have. If you get this, and I know you will and do, you understand the whole path and how to walk it. You understand the highest technique that could possibly exist and how to apply it. That's a fair amount to know. So what is this depth? You will notice, if you dare to, that you're inside. Whether you like it or not, you're in there. And you will notice that while you're in there, there's a lot of changes and activities that go on in there with you. All kinds of energy shifts, all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of emotions, just a lot of activity takes place inside of you. Eventually, you will naturally, not through teachings, but naturally, come to use the word energy for all of these things. Even your thoughts will just look like energy patterns. They're just energy. They have force, they have form, they have substance and intention, but they're just energy that form that way. It was sort of like in a stream, there's bubbles, there's currents, there's spray, there's foam. It's all water. You got it? There's this water that manifests different ways due to physics. What's a bubble but water with air in it? There's water forming a certain way. So your thoughts will start to look like energy. The activities of your heart will just appear to be energy. You will just start to see it all as movements of energy. When you watch these energies long enough, and it does take a while to be able to stay centered while all of this is happening in front of you, but for the purpose of this deep discussion we're having tonight, we're going to assume that you're there. I know you've been there for at least a few seconds, where you're just seeing that this is stuff that's going on inside of you. Imagine if you stayed there. That's where you were. You were inside, and you were seeing what Baba called Chit Shakti Vilas, the play of consciousness, the play of Shakti. It's manifesting inside of you in these different forms: thoughts, emotions, and energy itself, drives, urges, impulses, discomforts. They're not even thoughts or emotions. They're deeper than that. They're just energy. And so now you're in there, and this is going on inside, and you're aware that you're in there and that this is going on inside. Now what? Now you're ready for the next level of your growth. Once you can catch your breath and keep your head above the water, you start to take inventory. Oh, there's water. I was drowning, so I really didn't catch. I just knew I couldn't be in it. And there's land over there, the distance, and if I tread a certain way, my head goes up, and if I don't, it goes, you just start getting your bearings. That's what it's called, getting your bearings, while you're in there, because you're not overwhelmed. Well, what you will see is as follows: that the outside world has nothing to do with you. It just is happening all the time. It's just out there, and it's busy. And its busyness never asked your opinion, never did the world come up to you and say, how do you want me to be today? It just bees how it is. And it's very busy, isn't it? It changes all the time. It's constantly doing something. It's constantly saying something, making sounds, making movements, coming, going, people, places, things, weather. My God, there's a constant unfolding of stuff that has nothing to do with you. It's happening by itself. What you will see, amazingly enough, once you get as centered as I just put you, is that that movement of that stuff outside affects your inner energy. Big time. Your inner energy, thoughts, emotions, movements, drives, urges, could be in a certain state. Say it's maybe somewhat okay. Rare, but let's say it is. And then the outside starts doing stuff. Somebody starts walking up, somebody starts saying something, somebody doesn't walk up, somebody doesn't say something. It doesn't matter. Your insights change if they walk up to you to talk to you, or if they don't walk up to you to talk to you, don't they? You see them walking by. They stop and turn to you and start to walk that way. Watch your changes. You see them walking by, they don't stop and turn and talk to you. Watch your changes. You lose both ways. In other words, there's so much effect of what's going on out there on what's going on in here that's going to blow your mind once you get clarity. It's almost as if every little thing that's going on out there causes something big to go on in here. And so you start seeing you don't have much stability inside. It's really loose. It's like trying to walk on air. It just keeps shifting and changing. And have you noticed that if your thoughts change, your emotions change? And if your emotions change, your energy flow changes. And if your energy flow changes, your thoughts change. It's unbelievable how interactive it is, isn't it? Pretty loose in there. And that looseness gets kicked up by the slightest thing. I swear, you just gotta wake up. If somebody whispers and says something, a word too soft you can't hear it, watch what happens inside of you. If they say it too loud so it sounds like they're yelling, watch what happens inside of you. It doesn't matter. You're in big trouble. That's what you're gonna find out. That you got all this energy going on in here that is extremely unstable. Unstable is like, atomic fuel looks stable compared to this stuff. Even polonium-210, all right? Met is you're in there and it's terrible. It's a mess. And the slightest drop of anything from outside causes it to go. And once it starts going, it just keeps going. In the morning, somebody raised their voice when they were talking to you. At 3 p.m, it's still affecting you. The thoughts come back, then the heart freaks out, and then you get upset, and then this is just like, whew. That's what it's like to live in there. And then stuff comes back from 3 days ago, then stuff comes back from 5 years ago, then stuff comes back from what might be 3 years from now. Wow. And it just keeps affecting everything. You're just in there, and all this juice, this energy, these shifts, these thoughts, these emotions are just shifting all around. That's your next level of realization. First, you realize you're in here and there's all this stuff in here with you. Look at the environment you're in. It's unbelievable. And then you realize that the outside is affecting that environment. And then you notice the following. Once you see all that, then there comes this sense that's very, very deep. It's almost like behind all of it, which is, what do I do about it? This underlying sense, I gotta fix this. I gotta get this right. I gotta figure out a way to get this stable. What do I do? How do I make sure that nothing happens outside that causes it to get weird inside? How do I keep the thoughts from screwing up the heart? How do I keep the heart from screwing up the thoughts? What do I do in here to get control of all this so that I'm okay? That's the next thing you see. And that is so prevalent. Have you seen that? Have you seen that underneath it all, there's this drive, this urge. It's almost like the mother or father of all drives, psychology drives anyways, that says, what do I do about this? Really what it says is, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? How do I get what it is I think I need to get so that it's not all disturbed in here, or so it won't be all disturbed in here, or so that it wasn't all disturbed in here? How can you make it so it wasn't all disturbed in there? Get someone to apologize. Right? You're even trying to make it so that that which happened before didn't happen. Well, you can't, but if they say they're sorry, it makes it better, doesn't it? If you point out to them what they did wrong and so they'll never do it again, it gets quieter, doesn't it? You're still trying to fix what already happened, and you're trying to make sure that it doesn't happen, and you're trying to fix what is happening. It's all about fixing it. You got to get very clear to see that. See, what you do see, if I were to say to you, you always wanted to get a relationship, you always wanted to get more money, you always wanted to get people to be nice to you. That's how you decided to fix it. That's not the core. The core is, how do I fix it? And you said, well, I got to have children. You said, I got to get married. You said, I got to find someone who loves me. You said, I got to lose some weight. You said, I got to look prettier. You said, I got to get this. I got to move. What are those things? Those are the things you decided needed to happen as how you're going to fix it. But when you go deep, that's not where you hang out. That's just surface noise. There's all this energy inside, and the slightest thing from outside drops in, and like a leaf falling into a lake that's still, it creates all these ripples. And then the ripples hit the ripples, and you're not okay. And then underneath it all becomes this underlying drive, urge, impulse to fix it, to fix it, to fix it.